Here we are again, brother Violet.
Hey, what is this called? News to Me with Ken and Mike again?
Yes, no, I used to
It's called
introduce
now, but
this.
that's a temporary working
Right,
title.
exactly. I always introduced my podcast. It's such and such day in history, but I don't know what today is.
Well, today is March 27th, 2024.
Thank you.
That's today. So yeah, we're News to Me with Ken and Mike again. Working title, soon to come, big voice guy introductions and a new logo.
I like the redo. I like REDUX. That's Ken and Mike redo
Okay.
part two
I
again.
like redo better than part two.
How about ad
All
nauseum?
right, so let's rank them. Ken and Mike redo number one. Ken and Mike again number two. Ken and Mike two is number three. Huh? Okay.
I did get the feedback I got. We got great feedback on the first one, which was just a trailer. But
Just a tease.
the main comment
Tease
I
of
got,
part.
the main critical comment I got was that I was laid back and not sitting up straight like you were.
Well, I was sitting at my
I know.
in one of my bar chairs
Probably
over
like
on that
this.
island over there. Now
Probably
I'm
like
sitting at
this.
my beautiful dining room table, which
Yeah.
I bought for $85 from some guy from Topsom.
Ah, not IKEA. Clearly not IKEA.
No, I will
So
never buy a key. I bought a bed from IKEA, and that was, and many people have said this, the biggest fucking mistake of my life. Took me 4 days to put that bitch together, and I don't know how many spare screws. But anyway, enough about my
I
problem.
now
So,
listen. Everybody needs to go to the YouTube channel
yep,
and
subscribe.
subscribe. It's free, no charge, and I think it's news to me with Ken and Mike. I think is what the channel
I
is.
will find that right now while
Thank
we're talking. You can
you.
also, I'm also going to have to get access to the Twitter feed, which is news to me.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I stopped using it after it became X, but we could do that again.
are you fighting with Elon Musk too?
No, I
Or
just think I just think he's an ass.
why?
Because he's obnoxious. Uh,
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's news to me with Ken and Mike.
okay, thanks. But
Jesus, are you that much of a pansy that you're bothered by that?
did I say I'm bothered? I said I don't like him
He's an ass. What's he an ass for? He invented an electric car. He sends people into space.
because but he buys he way overpaid for Twitter. I mean, if he didn't have as much money
Oh,
as he did, I mean, the guy he's was born with it. I mean, Donald Trump would be nothing if it wasn't for his father putting him into business. I mean,
yeah.
the guy, the way he gets away with things is by cheating and lying. I mean, let's be honest.
Who, Trump?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Or
His
or or Elon
and
Musk?
I'm back to Trump now. Trump's mode operandi is to not pay anyone until you sue him.
All right. So,
Then
so let, okay. So we didn't come here to talk about Elon Musk today. So a liberal and a conservative walk into a bar and they give an honest assessment of the respective presidential candidates. This is after many drinks and
yeah,
beers and probably a cigar or two.
yeah,
Give a candid assessment of the candidates that they're going to be, in my case, forced to vote for.
yeah.
You want to go first and defend Joe Biden?
I will.
Come on.
I'm happy to take the invitation. Now, look, I'm not. First of all, nobody over 70 should be elected president of the United States. I don't know why we don't have age limits.
That wipes you off the board right there, then.
That's and I'd be a great president. But you know
I've
what?
got 6.5 years eligibility left.
Joe Biden is not my first choice. I'd like somebody younger. I'd like somebody.
She can't be your second choice, can she?
No, no. Well, look, I like
Jacqueline Pamela.
when she was running for president, the nomination. I really liked her. She presents herself horrible, but she's very smart.
Numbered in a bag of hammers, though.
She's very smart. She got absolutely clobbered by.
She can't complete a sentence.
I think I beg to disagree with you.
All right, so defend Joe Biden or tell
Biden has put together some bipartisan legislation. He is across the aisle kind of guy. Good old Joe. I think he's what we needed in 2020. I think look, the economy is doing fine.
Ken, now stop.
Okay.
The economy is doing fine.
Yeah.
All right. Gas prices today in Augusta were $3.37 a gallon. Now, I know we always say you can't blame that on the president, but
Correct.
anyway,
Right.
Have you bought a loaf of bread lately, or any groceries lately, or any?
Inflation went up. Inflation went up to 8 or 9%.
Things are so expensive that it's beyond belief.
But inflation is now down to 3%.
But what do things cost?
What I understand, but what are the look? I don't blame presidents for the economy, and I don't give them credit for
Was your 401k better off under Trump than it is now with Biden?
You know, the stock market did great under Trump. It's done just as well under.
I don't care about the stock market because I don't think that's representative of what you and I pay and get paid on a daily basis walking the streets of Maine.
So Trump did. What did Trump do with the economy? It's a trend.
The economy was way better off when Trump was president.
Unemployment is less now under Biden than it was Donald Trump. Absolutely.
All right. So Biden is. You're going to vote for Biden, obviously. Is Biden going to be the nominee?
Yes, if he doesn't die.
Right. And do you acknowledge or not that he suffers from some sort of cognitive memory loss?
I don't think he does remember. I think that
Jesus, Ken, don't start out like this.
I don't think so. I think that he's never been a particularly articulate individual.
No kidding. But go back and look at some tape of him even 10 years ago and compare it to now.
I think
if he weren't president of the United States, he'd be in assisted living.
And Donald Trump is 4 years younger than him.
Don't get me started. You want me to start on Trump?
But it's not just about whether I'm for Biden, because that's a mischaracterization. I am absolutely against Donald Trump. So what's my alternative? Robert Kennedy Jr.? I mean, really?
Okay. Well, he's going to be on the ballot, and he will get into his vice presidential pick in a moment. But let me talk about Trump. I will hate vote for Trump. All right. I hate Donald Trump. All right. What I hate more, though, is supporting the war in Ukraine with billions and billions of dollars.
Really?
What I hate more is an absolute invasion on the border and nobody doing anything to stop it, and they won't acknowledge it either. I hate that kind of stuff more. I hate the economy where literally now I can't afford a bunch of shit that I used to be able to afford 3 or 4 years ago. The woke culture that has come, I hate that. So Trump is a partial roadblock to that. He's a great campaigner, and he does a nice job in hand-to-hand combat talking to people. He gets nothing done. That's why I wanted a guy
Let me ask you a question.
Stuff done in Ron DeSantis. He was my guy. He gets shit done.
Let me ask you a question. Well, a lot of the stuff that he got done is blown up in his face, like his fight with Disney, which was just stupid for Florida. But putting that aside,
has Disney left Florida yet?
Did Donald Trump instigate a riot on January 6th?
No.
How can you say
that? Wasn't a riot, Ken. That wasn't a riot.
Was it tourists walking around the Capitol building?
No, it was something in between that, but it certainly does it necessitate jailing people for 20, 25 years?
No.
In some cases, no.
I'm not talking about.
Did Trump stand up there and tell people to go home? Yes, he did.
No. He said we got to go down to the Capitol and fight like hell. That's what he said. And
I still don't think it was an insurrection. I don't think it was an insurrection at all.
And by the way, hours later, he said, "Go home. We love you." These are people who broke into the Capitol, for God's sake.
Who was the only person to die that day?
Well, a police officer died.
No, the police officer did not die.
He died as a result of his injuries.
Babbitt was shot by an armed police officer, an unarmed Air Force veteran. He picks her out and shoots her, and they say it's a good shoot.
She entered the Capitol against police orders.
So why did he shoot her?
Wait a minute. I don't care. She had no business. Don't break the law if you don't want to get shot.
And part of me wants to agree with that, but we're getting off the beaten track.
So here's the thing. Donald Trump has, how many things do I talk about with Donald Trump? He's going to be a dictator. He loves Putin. I don't know what Putin has over him. But
what did he do when he was president to necessitate you thinking he was a dictator?
No, he said, I will be a dictator. I will be a dictator.
That's says a lot of absolutely fucking stupid.
He said that Putin should invade other NATO countries if they don't pay their dues. Excuse me?
That's stupid. And
But he says those things, and he gets away with those things. And by the way, the border, which I agree to you, is a disaster. There was finally bipartisan legislation on the border, and who nixed that? Donald Trump, who told the Republicans, "Don't take away that campaign issue from
The
me."
border is a huge issue. The invasion of this country by illegals is a huge issue, and you guys won't even call them illegals.
I think. Wait.
Biden won't even call them illegals.
You know, more. Let's not forget, more people were deported under Barack Obama than anybody else.
And I bring it back.
Joe Biden too.
Bring it back.
Joe Biden.
Bring it back. So Trump is a flawed candidate, and I will say,
yeah, but you can't. I'd stay home. I would stay home before voting.
He is, but I'm going to hate vote for him. So let's not get bogged down on that. Real quick. So RFK among conservatives, RFK Jr. among conservatives, got a lot of traction for his COVID stance, which I'm completely on board with. The only thing he's ever been right on in his life is COVID. From my perspective, everything else, he's a classic. He is beyond the left of you. Well, and so he picks this, whoever this woman is, who was married to the guy
Shanahan. Her name's Shanahan.
So he's going to hurt your guy and not my.
I don't think so. I think he's going to. A lot of people who won't vote for Trump will vote for him because he's crazy. He has more conspiracy theories than anybody. The only one I agree with is that JFK was not killed by a lone assassin. That's the only one I agree with. But he also thinks that COVID was a government conspiracy, that Fauci and Gates, are you saying that that Fauci wanted to help?
I'm on board with him.
Oh, come on.
RFK 2024, RFK Jr. 2024 conspiracy theory. The biggest punk job in American history was COVID and is COVID, Ken.
You know how many people COVID killed? Hundreds of thousands of people.
And it's all on Fauci's hands. He should be in prison for murder.
Oh, Fauci did a great job under difficult circumstances. You guys you believe that the government, when they were giving vaccinations, were implanting chips in people?
No, I didn't say that, but
that's what RFK thinks.
You in your days in Michigan were anti-government, anti-politicians. Now you are rump swabbing all of them, and they're spoon feeding you the shit, and you're eating it.
I'm anti-corrupt government,
and the government is corrupt. Your guys, my guys, corrupt. But they absolutely,
I don't think Trump
absolutely concocted this, in my mind, to get Trump out of office, and it worked. There was no reason to take Donald Trump out of office. The economy was going great, and we weren't in any wars or supporting any wars. Now we're in the Ukraine, giving money to that little dictator over there, Zelensky. This has gone off the rails.
Have you read what?
This hat is very warm.
Somebody like Lisa Murkowski from Susan, your favorite, Susan Collins.
She's not my favorite. You know where Susan Collins, not my favorite. I used to love her when she voted to confirm Jackson to the Supreme Court. Lost me. I wouldn't vote for Susan.
How about Brett Kavanaugh?
I would vote for a stuffed animal before I would vote for Susan.
There are many rational Republicans, and like Dick Cheney's daughter, who frankly I would vote for today for president.
No, you wouldn't.
I absolutely
would. You guys love her because she hates Donald Trump.
She's a woman of principle.
Right. All right. What else were we going to talk about today?
So yeah, we got bogged down, and we can't go on.
You know, let's go to something lighter, not the ice storm, because we were going to talk about that. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay. You've been talking about that, and you've been making your case for Jethro Tull.
You want to instill anger beyond comprehension in me. You think this topic is not going to make me angrier than talking about Donald Trump? You're wrong.
When you brought it up and mentioned that Tull's not in the hall, I didn't realize that, because I am a huge Jethro Tull fan, and I have been since I was. When did they come to the forefront? In
68.
All right, so I'm 10, and I heard Jethro Tull for the first time. And I've loved them ever since. I have them on my favorites when I walk. I have my playlist. I listen to them all the time. So I was stunned that they're not in the hall and that Ian Anderson individually isn't in the hall.
So let's start with square one. What are non-rock and rollers doing in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Okay,
That's a great question.
I saw Emmylou Harris is not in it. She's a country star. She's
Mhm.
not. She's not a rock star.
She's a lovely, lovely country star too. I love Emmylou Harris.
And Joni Mitchell, who I think is one of the greatest female songwriters, singers ever. She's folk.
She did Free Man in Paris and Paved Parking Lot.
That's not rock and roll. That's not rock and roll.
What is it?
Rock and roll is when you have a guitar, a drum, a bass, and maybe a piano. That's
right. So I could make more of a case for Joni Mitchell than others, but okay, all right, I'll run with that. So
this year, Cher, great singer, great actress, love her. Sonny and Cher was great. I Got You, Babe. That's not rock and roll.
Right, agreed. No Cher. How about Mariah Carey? I didn't realize she wasn't in.
I don't think she's rock and roll.
Hot, great boobs, beautiful, but don't put her in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Sinead O'Connor, whom I think is very talented, had one song that she basically made a copy of Prince's song, Nothing Compares to You. Great song. One song ripped up a picture of the Pope. That's her claim to fame.
One hit wonder. Bye.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I am infuriated by those choices. And I will say, guess who's not in the Chubby Checker is not in the Rock and Roll Hall.
How does that happen?
Do you remember a little song called The Twist?
Yeah, and then The Twist again?
Which made look, Bill
was number one how many times? 3, 4?
But the point is this. He made rock and roll popular by that song, The Twist. How do you not have him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I still play The Twist at virtually every wedding that I do. You know,
so
I've got one. I got one.
Okay.
One of my top 2 or 3 favorite bands of all time. I was stunned to find out, and they did have a fairly brief career, but they're, to me, just an incredible band. Is Thin Lizzy. The boys are back in town.
Yeah.
Thin Lizzy, Phil Lynott, and from Ireland. And every year on St. Patrick's Day, I put the same post up. Greatest Irish bands of all time. Thin Lizzy, greater than U2.
Yeah.
Thin Lizzy was awesome. I think they did enough in that brief shining time. This isn't Major League Baseball where we penalize you for only having a 5-year career. I think they should be in the hall. I'm stunned that they're not.
I'll give you that. Now, let's go back to Jethro Tull real quick, because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame hates progressive music. Another great example, King Crimson. Now, not as popular as Jethro Tull, but innovative beyond comprehension. Fabulous.
Progressive at the time, Ken, but 50 years later, it's pretty mainstream rock and roll.
But no, we've got to have hip hop in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We've got to have,
you make a hip hop Hall of Fame, then, you hip hoppers. All right.
Exactly right. Okay, who else do you have besides Thin Lizzy?
I'm trying to remember, and I lost the.
Let me give you one that you're gonna probably say is silly, but I'm gonna tell you it. Believe it or not, the Monkees. Now I understand the Monkees did not play their own instruments.
I love them.
I'm telling you, they made music and pop music so popular through the TV.
They did eventually play their own instruments, though.
They did, but it doesn't matter because they made rock and roll popular. Now it's pop. The divide between pop and rock, I understand. There's this line here, but Beatles were pop too. Let's be honest.
Of course, one of the poppiest of all time. They got less poppy later on, Sgt. Pepper's and all that, but the Monkees should absolutely be in. They really put an imprint on the music scene, pop, rock.
Absolutely. And by the way, little trivia. You know who applied to be a Monkees and did not get the part?
Stephen Stills.
Ding, 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 ding.
His teeth. He had bad teeth.
Well,
all right. Ex-wife story. My ex-wife, who you helped me get away from, at a Monkees show at the Portland Expo, took her bra off and threw it on stage.
Oh, you were there?
I had her to throw her bra at me, but she would throw it at a member of the Monkees.
All right, 2 more. So my 5, and I would put Emmylou Harris if you're going to put Joni Mitchell, but I took her off. Jethro Tull number 1, Chubby Checker number 2, the Monkees number 3. My last 2, and I'm limiting myself to 5. 10 years after. Now I understand not a mainstream well-known group, but Alvin Lee.
Alvin Lee,
one of the most incredible.
I am not worthy.
I mean, and by the way, I will say, is a sixth. Arthur Lee from Love. Love is also not yet. And Love was one of the great LA rock bands of the 60s and early
All right.
70s.
So you mentioning Alvin Lee and 10 years after made me think of something I saw the other day, which was on the Jimmy Fallon show, probably 10 years ago on the Tonight Show, was Brooklyn Bridge doing their version of You Keep Me Hanging On.
Oh, great version.
Back in the day was, are they in the Rock and Roll Hall?
No, I doubt it.
Probably not.
You should. I could Google that. All right.
Yeah.
And last but not least, it's a mystery to me how you could have Johnny Winter. Johnny Winter is one of the most incredible guitar players. I know he was an albino. I'm sorry. I know we want to be racist here. But
oh my God, I can't vote for an albino.
Johnny Winter and Edgar Winter and Rick Derringer was a part of Johnny Winter, and those people, the Blues Projects. Now they're blues, but they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The list of people not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is insane compared to those who are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It may be because my brain was under the influence of Schlitz malt liquor and some cheap pot, but I believe I saw one of the Winter Boys at Colby College back in the day. Can you believe that?
Well, I've seen Edgar Winter. I've seen Johnny Winter. Edgar Winter did Frankenstein, which was one of the great songs of all time. And I just think so. I have quit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I was a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, no shit, really?
I have quit it until they put Jethro Tull in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
All right, I'll stick with you.
He hasn't even been nominated. Hasn't even been nominated.
No peace until Jethro Tull is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay, now we spent a whole time talking about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Anything else you want to talk about? Because
how long have we been talking? Do you have an egg timer running?
You have your clock behind you. I'm going to say I can't tell. I think we're talking well over 20 minutes is my guess.
Okay. I did want to get to the stupid NFL rule changes. All of them are stupid, including the hip drop tackle.
I don't know what that is.
How are you supposed to? It's when you kind of get. Don't take this the wrong way. You get a guy from behind, so to speak, and you hip drop him by sort of bringing him straight down, rather than hitting him from the side with your shoulder. It's the NFL Players Association was even against banning this, but the owners went ahead and banned it.
Is it tackling from behind?
To a point, but it's like you grab a guy and drop him like this way rather than knock him to the side. You sort of buckle him and his hips drop. So that's, I know we can't even sit here and define what a hip drop tackle is. So no hip drop tackle.
Tell me about the kickoff rule. I don't even understand what the new rule is.
All right. So on the air on this morning on my show, I read the changes to the hip drop tackle. I won't do it here, but it was literally about 40 seconds of me reading the text of what the changes are. And I still don't understand them. The NFL makes these changes because kickers have gotten so good. They're driving the ball out of the end zone all the time. And they want to cut down on the high-speed crashes, so to speak, because of CTE and concussions. Okay, whatever. Dick Butkus and company are spinning in their graves because of this namby-pamby. Let's play touch or flag.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is the kickoff rule to have less run backs?
No, more. They're trying to get the run back in the game.
Okay.
And this is going to do that, but it's just kind of a namby-pamby.
So are you moving the kickoff line back?
Yeah, what you're doing is the kicker is going to be at the 40 or 35. I can't remember. The kickoff cover team is going to be down the field more so that they are not running as far. They're going to be at the other opponent's 40, I think. But nobody can move until the ball is caught by the return man. So therefore, there's no more high-speed collisions. And there's a certain zone where if you catch the ball, this happens. If you catch the ball, that happens.
If you kick the ball through the end zone, that's still a touchback, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But
you're penalized for it somehow. I don't know. Why do you ask me these questions?
Because you're my sports expert. Isn't that what you do for a living?
Okay. All right. So we're going to take the time to do it right here, right now. If I can get this to work. Let's see. Kickoff returns. This is something that they were doing in the XFL. And so the kickoff return that the changes that they made for a standard kickoff, the ball is going to be kicked from the 35, which is where it is now, with 10 kick coverage players other than the kicker. He'll be the only one at the 35 or behind it. The other 10 players are lined up at the opponent's 40-yard line, 5 on each side of the field. The return team would have to have at least 9 blockers lined up. Follow me closely here. We're going to have a quiz later. In the setup zone between the 30 and the 35, with at least 7 of those players touching the 35. There would be up to 2 returners allowed inside the 20. Only the kicker and the 2 returners would see what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm all for the idea, but the execution of this is stupid. So there's that. The NFL just being dumb and doing something that the players don't want to do. The NFL, no hip drop, kickoff reform, 2 games this coming Christmas on Christmas Day. Guess which day Christmas Day is in 2024?
Isn't that the middle of the weekday we call
Wednesday? That's right, no humps. So it's on Wednesday. So 2 games on Christmas Day. I love sports on Christmas Day. I don't need them, though. I'm fine with cavorting around doing whatever it is we do on Christmas. But of course, people watch them, record-setting numbers this past year on Christmas Day. And so what the NFL is going to do, those teams that are playing on Christmas Day, 2 games, the 4 teams will play the Saturday before, so they will have the same amount of time off as they would if they were playing Sunday and then playing on Thursday night. Pretty soon the NFL is going to be a 7-day-a-week thing. That's where we're coming. And the NFL is also going to stream 2 more games next year on Peacock, one of them a playoff game, which they did this past year, which means
you have to be a subscriber.
Slowly but surely, they are phasing out free games. It's going to happen eventually.
Well, billions of dollars. All right, before we close, I want to give you some information that I looked up before while you were doing that. The Brooklyn Bridge was inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame. I didn't know did you know there was a vocal group?
No.
2005. They were inducted into the South Carolina Music Hall of Fame in May of 2006, and the Long Island Music Hall of Fame in 2006. No Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, so they're gaining on it. Slowly but surely, they're picking up these accolades along the way. They're getting traction. They're getting tread. They're eventually going to make it. So you advocate for Tull. I'll advocate for Thin Lizzy and Brooklyn Bridge.
All right, now we want everyone, we want you to sign up to follow us on
YouTube.
Facebook. You said how to do that, right?
Yep. News to Me with Ken Altshuler and Mike Violet is the name of our page.
Okay.
Again, News to Me with Ken Altshuler and Mike Violet.
And I'm going to post this audio today. Now, Chelsea thinks we should post a video on Thursday and the audio on Wednesday. Do you think that's a good idea?
I think you should do whatever Chelsea says.
Okay, or we can do the video on Wednesday and the audio on Thursday.
Whatever Chelsea says.
Well, you're a smart man. All right.
What Chelsea said.
Carry on. I'll see you next Wednesday. Yes?
Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, Ken. I'll be here.
And by then we should have, at some point we have to decide on what our name is and a logo and our big voice guy. Right. And, we could talk about a dress code at some point,
Fuck that. By the way, I'm the only one who has sworn so far in this. You need to say one F word, one swear word before we go.
Fuck you.
Thank you. And on that note, News to Me with Ken and Mike bids you a fond adieu.